Hello. In today's video, we're gonna be finalizing the propeller blade. So we're gonna complete the whole propeller on each side and also connect it to the hub, which is the disc in the center. To start off, we will first do the connection from the hub to the blade that we've made, and then after that reflect it so it we don't have to reconstruct another blade geometry again. And this is for the twisted and untwisted, but in this case we're gonna start with the twisted untwisted propeller first. So to start with, we're gonna want to make the front plane visible, and after that we're gonna wanna make two reference geometries. First we're gonna make the first plane, and we want to make sure that the offset is flipped. So click on flip offset and change this value to 17.42, and then click OK. You can clearly see we use the front plane as our first reference, and click OK. We want to also make another reference geometry. By this time we are selecting plane 7, so the first reference is the plane 7, and we want to make it so it's 10.58 but on the opposite direction. So click on flip offset and change 17.42 to 10.58. And this is where we're going to draw some ovals which will connect the blades to the oval parts, which is then going to be connected directly to the disc in the center. So we want to first show you guys how to draw the center line and the center point, we need it because we want to line up the oval with the center line. But in the video when I made the untwisted propeller, this wasn't shown how it is clearly done, but in the twisted one we have shown. But I'm gonna redo it again, so I'm gonna delete them and redo it for you guys. So first click on edit sketch on the front plane, and let's just delete this and show you guys how it's done. So you can see it is connected from the origin to the trailing edge in the center. So let's first select those for me, and let me just delete them and show you guys how it's done. First go onto the line, onto the arrow, there will be center line. Click on it and just drag the line from the origin to the center between the trailing edge. And then click on the dot, and then hover over that line, and you can see the yellow dot. You want to click onto the yellow dot, which will give you a point. So we can use that point to make it easier for us to draw the oval. And when we overlay the plane 7 and front plane, or plane 8 and front plane, it makes it easier for us to position that oval and make it straight. So we are editing plane 7, as you can see, and now we want to draw an oval. So we're going to click on this oval shape and then just drag from the center, or the point that we just made. We can just click OK, click on the left mouse once and then again twice, and then it will show you the values. Now on the left hand side, we're gonna need to edit this radius. So in the first one, we're gonna put 6.25. And then click on it again. And then on the second one, we're gonna write 2.625. And it will change it. And this is gonna be how it's supposed to look like. We can exit. And now you can see how it's supposed to look like on this plane 7. Again, the planes can be named differently for you guys. Probably gonna be named plane maybe 2. I'm not sure. But now we would just want to go to plane 8 for me, and then just edit the sketch. Click click on the line and convert entity. So now it duplicates that oval onto plane 8 as we have done. Now you guys understand how convert entities work. Now you can see what we are trying to do, where we want to connect all these planes, the front plane, plane 7, plane 8 together. So we're going to go to 3D Sketch, and we're going to just insert lines where we're going to connect the leading edge to the left side of the oval and the trailing edge to the right side of the oval. So click on the dot. You're going to see there's a dot. Just hover on it, click on it, and drag, and just connect these dots together as shown. We're going to do the same thing for the trailing edge. Make sure it's in the center of the trailing edge, and then just click on the dots on each side of the oval. And now you can escape this 3D sketch, and we're gonna use this while lofting. So the loft knows the lines that we want to have a limit on while lofting. And now we want to make sure that the existing relations, this is very important, is being deleted. You can either click on that small green icon, it will turn blue and then delete, or you can just delete it from the left hand side by just clicking on it and deleting. And you're gonna do this for the 6 dots that you have done. So we've done the leading edge part. Now we're gonna do the trailing edge. Delete. I'm showing you guys both ways, so you can see you can delete it from the left hand side or on the front panel. Now that we're done, we're gonna use loft. And the reason why we remove the relations again is because we need the loft will not work. It won't show us the option of using the 3D sketch because it is related to the other sketches. The sketches, meaning the airline, or sorry, not the airline, the airfoil and the ovals. So now we're just gonna connect the sketches together. So we're gonna connect the airfoil to the 2 ovals. You have to do them in this consecutive order. So airfoil, then the first oval, then the second oval, and then go to guide curves and make sure you click on the 3D line. And you can click on this, which says OK. You can see how it's bent on one side. You want to do it on the other side. You just click on the line and click OK. And now you can see that everything is connected nicely. And also the trailing edge, you can see that it also shows the pattern on the oval. So first we're gonna go to top plane and make that visible. And we're gonna construct a line so we know where the center of the radius of the circle for the disk. So to do so, we want to do a sketch onto the front plane, and we're gonna make a construction line, or we can call it center. It's a center line, and then just hover onto this, and you can see that you can select the center, and then just drag the line till ahead of the final oval. And then we can go to smart dimensions and then change the value to 127, and you can see that the length of the line slightly changed, so it starts basically from the tip towards the center. Now we're gonna go and make a sketch on this top plane by just drawing a circle. And to do so, we're gonna just click on the circle and just dragging the value. And here we're gonna choose a specific radius. In this case, we're gonna change the radius value to 8. You can use smart dimensions to change, but it's easier just to do it there on the left. And then just click OK. You can exit sketch, but we don't want to do that now. But because we're gonna want to extrude this, so We're gonna go to features and then we're gonna go to Boss-Extrude or extrude boss. And this automatically already does the circle. You can select the circle so it does it. You need to make sure that this on direction one, it says mid plane and it says 6 millimeters. And there you have it. You're gonna have the disc being shown. And now we have made basically one half of the propeller, and all we have to do is just mirror this blade onto the other side, but we need to reverse directions. So we want one, let's say it spins 180 degrees, it actually is facing the same leading edge. So first we hit everything to make this simpler. We're gonna go to Boss-Extrude and we wanna make sure that the sketch is showing because we're gonna need that point in the middle to actually do some reference geometries so we can mirror about that point. First, we're gonna make the front plane visible and then we're gonna go to reference geometry and click on plane. Click on the front plane and then in the second reference, just click on the dot. And now you've made a plane right onto the dot, which is what we wanted. And we're gonna change the name of the plane line to symmetry plane for simplicity. We're gonna now mirror the blade, the solid, onto the symmetry plane. So click on the symmetry plane on mirror face slash plane, and the bodies to mirror, just select the body. And you can see the uh, other side being shown. You have to make sure that the mesh solid is off because we're not gonna actually use this because you're gonna see that the leading edge both are facing in the same direction, which is not correct. If you look at the traditional propeller, the leading edge would be facing in the opposite direction on the opposite side because after a 180-degree turn, we want the leading edge to be facing the same way. Imagine if the airflow was rotating around this. One of them would be facing the trailing edge. So we're gonna fix this by going to right plane, showing it, and going to reference geometry. And then you can do again the second reference being the dot in the center or the line at this point, but we're gonna just select the dot for simplicity. And now you have a reference plane in the center along the blade's axis. Now just we can just hide the extra planes that we don't need. But first let me rename this to right symmetry plane. We're gonna hide the front plane and the right plane to make it more visual. Now using the right symmetry plane, we're gonna wanna um, mirror the mirrored, so the mirror 4 or whatever mirror it's called on solid body. You're gonna basically select on right symmetry plane and then just mirror the body that you already made, the new one that you made, the one with the wrong leading edge. And you can see how the leading edge is now the trailing edge. And make sure that the mesh solids is off. Now click OK, and you'll see this weird looking shape with both leading edge on each side overtaking the trailing edge. So we're gonna delete the previous mirror now that we've used it and just click on delete body. Now you can see that we have completely made the propeller, but we also want to make sure that it is recognized as one. So we're gonna combine in solid bodies from the left the Boss-Extrude and the mirror. Just click on both of them by holding Control, and then just right click and you can combine. And make sure the operation is at add and then click OK. Now it's combine 5 or it might be just combine 1 for you. And this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. But the problem now, the final thing that we need is that we want the origin to be in the center. So we're gonna have to move the whole body by first, let's first make it visible, the sketch the center point that we made, and the origin is always visible. By going on to the top right and clicking on move, writing move, sorry, and you can see something called move slash copy. We first go to translate, click onto the dot in the center, and then it gives you a point where you want to move from one point to the other. We're going to click on the origin, and then finally click on the bodies to move. We're going to click on the body we want to move, and then hit OK. And the reason why we want to move this to the origin is so when we import this to space claim on CFD and ANSYS, it's gonna be in the center. And there you have it. We've completed the propeller, and it's all ready to go to ANSYS.